The Dogs, in association with the British Greyhound Racing Board.
Hello and welcome to another edition of The Dogs. We're here at Sunderland for the last major four-bend event before the Derby kicks off. It's the William Hill Gold Cup final. We'll have all the action from the North East track, plus of course a major preview on the William Hill Derby. The action there starts on Thursday. It was won of course in spectacular fashion 12 months ago by the Irish.
They head down the far side and still Tim Scrow leads them. Leads by 2.5 lengths from Droopy Skulls. The main challenger now for forced to check out these can Big Freeze staying on. They come around the final bend. It's Tim Scrow and Droopy Skulls. Big Freeze is finishing strongly, but it's Droopy Skulls to go on and score. It's one for Ireland and Ian Riley. Young Ian Riley, yet another trainer from across the Irish Sea, plunging the Derby prize. The first £100,000 William Hill Derby, won deservedly by Droopy Skulls. Well, Ian has another major player this year, Droopy's Leroy, running here from trap 3, showing good pace on the 24th of May, all the way towards the first bend. A couple of good yardsticks up to the first bend, where Lenson Anthony in 5 and Maltese Mac running from trap 4. But Droopy's Leroy showed the pace up towards the first bend, kept middle throughout and went on to score decisively in 28.91 off a 4.96 sectional. He's been round again since as Droopy's Leroy, recording an almost identical calculated time. Another Irish dog to the fore in the betting is the Scottish Derby winner, Droopy's Marco. We can look back at his trial stakes win on the 14th of May here at Wimbledon, where he ran from trap 5. Broke okay, good pace up, Velvet Rebel running on the outside in trap 6 for Charlie Lister. A little bit wide off the second bend, but he did that at Shawfield when he won the Scottish Derby. But overall, good pace from Droopy's Marco, who recorded 28.83 off a 4.94 sectional. Well fancied this day, sent off at 1 to 4. Perhaps the surprising thing, no trial or race since for Droopy's Marco. Droopy's Marco's litter brother, Droopy's Maldini, was also involved in the same night. Running from trap 5, he broke well, was a little bit outpaced by some speedsters up to the first bend and was badly hampered around the first 2 turns, but he ran a magnificent race. Good pace down the far side and came home strong to record a faster time than Marco, 28.77 off a split of 4.95. The greyhound who he beats in picks up Chip Ladd running from trap 6, has gone on and franked the form by winning a Derby trial stakes race and an open at Monmore. Both Maldini and Marco looking on song for trainer Fraser Black. Let's hear from him now.
It was his first run since we'd won race, and he was just completely stale in Shelburne, but he's coming back to with the dog that he think he is anyway, so it was good, it was a good race for the public tonight to watch and everything.
Stumbled out the traps, taken out at the first bend.
Never saw the inside, you can see nothing, but quite sure if we get these things right we'll be okay, won't we?
Well, here's a full list of Irish entries for this year's William Hill Greyhound Derby. 2 that catch the eye on known form are Boaduff Light from Owen McKenna, who brings across a strong team. Boaduff Light has already got a verdict over Droopy's Maldini this year. And another one to look out for, perhaps Minneola Farlow for Seamus Graham. However, both were disappointing in recent trials at Wimbledon. So how can the Brits repel the Irish? Well, Mick Pusey came close last year with Fire Height Dan reaching the final. He looked on top form earlier in the year in the Arc Final. They're off and racing up towards the first bend, away fast Ollie Bean and Fire Height Dan on the outside. Then comes 6 Match My Son. They go round the bend and Fire Height Dan goes on. It goes 2 lengths clear down the far side ahead of Ollie Bean in second. After these come 6 Match My Son, 1 Clombrin Show. They come down towards the second last bend and Fire Height Dan, Greyhound of the Year for 2004, starts his campaign for 2005 with a bang. He hacks up in the Ladbrokes.com Arc. Well, that was
was a scintillating run from Fireheight Dan. Funnily enough, he's drawn in Trap 5 in Heat 6 on Thursday for his first race back after being withdrawn from the Pall Mall final at Oxford. He's done a good trial as well, Fireheight Dan. Another of Mick's inmates that has been catching the imagination of the betting public recently, that's Siesta Frisbee. We can see Siesta Frisbee in action in a trial stakes race, running from Trap 6. Off a 4.83 split, Siesta Frisbee went on to record 28.58, pulverising Farlow Cricketer back in second by 6.5 lengths. Siesta Frisbee not only has recorded this good time in this trial stakes race, but also over 460 metres, clocked 27.66. He's coming right at the right time. Mick goes to war in this year's Derby with 4 dogs.
We're very happy with the 4 of them at the moment. All healthy, sound, we're ready to go really. Fireheight Dan trialled on Friday. Very happy with him, 27.81. They think he should have gone quicker because he did a 27.49 2 weeks before that. But we're very happy with him, yeah, we're ready to go. There's no problems with him whatsoever. Siesta Frisbee, more than pleased with him. 28.58 the other night. Very happy with him. He's ready to go now. Believe it or not, he will improve because he's only probably 80-85% fit at the moment. So look out, you Irish, we're after you. Then we've got Yankee Dick, just coming back from a serious injury. He's been off now for 7 or 8 months. Ran down to a length. Very pleased. He's ready to go now. He's sound. And the other one is Abbott Pete. Now he's a dog that likes it all his own way. He's had 3 runs around Wimbledon, hasn't shown it yet, but when he leads, he's a good dog.
They go towards home, Sydney pushed out of contention, Tom's View in front, here's Roxanne Silk challenging, down the straight, Tom's View, out in front from Roxanne Silk, Tom's View maybe just in a very tight finish from Roxanne Silks in the Northern Puppy Derby.
One of last season's leading youngsters was without question Tom's View, who came out on top here at Sunderland before his new trainer Phil McComish took him to Wimbledon for the Racing Post Juvenile Championship, run of course at the home of the Derby.
He ran well in the juvenile. He trapped okay, the 2 dogs outside him, the Vermouth dog and Rupert's Brooklyn, trapped great, showed great early, and he ran well. He showed a lot of bottle and a lot of guts, and he ran great, and he managed to turn second and get round the bend behind Brooklyn, and he showed mighty pace down the far side, and then he come home well and he ran really well. I was really pleased with him.
They're racing up towards win line 4. Tom's View lands the Racing Post Juvenile Championship.
To win a derby, you need a lot of luck. You need some nice track draws, and you've got to have the dog, and there wouldn't be too many around I'd be wanting to swap him for.
Closely matched in the Northern Puppy Derby with Tom's View, Roxholm Silks has had a stop-start 2005. He's been here at the palatial Roxholm Grange in Derbyshire under the care of his trainer Hayley Keatley.
Well, the injury, Clive, seems to have hopefully disappeared, but the trials that he has come out of them tired. I think that's purely because we've not done anything with him. He was just literally put on a lead. So he is like only 85% fit at the moment. But if we can just get through a few rounds, I do think, obviously, eventually he will be 100% then and show his, true potential. So at the moment, as I say, though, his injury, it looks good, but it's just the fitness side.
Now, if Roxholm Silks was 100% fit, how would you rate his chances in the Derby?
I think, personally, he could probably get through to the semis. There's a lot of good dogs in it, but I would be more than happy if we could get through to the semis. More than happy. We would have done well with him.
Another highly rated young dog is Derek Knight's Carlgrove Flight.
And we're off and racing out towards the first bend, and rushing out quick was Bob's Memory in 1. Here comes 6, the favourite Carl Grove Flight around the outside, doesn't quite get round, took a bump there from Shelbourne Sadie to head down the far side. Carl Grove Flight just out in front, only by a length now from 3 racing in second, Shelbourne Sadie. After these comes 1 on the inside, Bob's Memory. 5 trying to make a move as well, Yorkshire, as they come around the final bend. It's Carl Grove Flight had to fight for the lead, but out clear now and sprinting away. Carl Grove Flight in 6 goes on to win.
Kept under wraps since, Cargrove Flight's pre-Derby trials have seen him rocket up the betting list for the Classic. Sponsors William Hill making the Hove Raider as short as 12-1 now. Last year's Irish Derby runner-up, Droopy's Maldini, tops the market at 7-1. His kennel mate, Droopy's Marco's a 14-1 chance, the same price as the mighty Fireheight Dan. Coming up after the break, we turn the spotlight on the most represented trainer in this year's Derby, Charlie Lister, plus focus on the small but beautifully formed kennel that is Carly Philpotts. He's known as the Derby King. 4 times he's won the English Derby. Now Charlie Lister eyes a 5th.
Charlie, a record 18 runners in this year's Derby. What an amazing kennel strength you must have.
Yeah, I've got a good kennel strength at the moment. We've got quite a lot of young dogs as well besides them, and all the owners really want to put the dog in the Derby, so we've put 18 in.
Now, a hard question to answer, but one I have to ask. Which one do you think is your best of your 18?
I wouldn't really like to say. I don't really, pick and choose. I just wait and see how things go. But I wouldn't really like to say on that one. I've got quite a few dogs there which has been laid off. They're just coming back, and I think that there's 1 or 2 of them dogs will improve quite a lot.
Well, if we take a look at the bookmakers' list, they think Robbie De Niro is your best bet. Tell us about how he's been doing recently.
Robbie De Niro's, I laid him off since the Trainers' Championship, and then we've just brought him back and given him a couple of trials. I gave him a couple of trials last week. I gave him one at Wimbledon, 27.88. I thought the track was slow. And then he had another trial last night, which he did 27.55, I think it was. Yeah, so I'm happy enough with that.
Now, after that, you got the gold collar winner, Baton, a dog that's recently joined your kennels, but he didn't run too well at Wimbledon the other night.
No, he didn't. I thought he did all right. He went all right in the trial there, 27.70 something the first time round. I thought that was all right. I thought last night that he kind of just got hampered going into the first bend. The 5 dog come across, and the 5 dog were holding him up, and he couldn't get around up the inside, and it were moving in on him. So, I wouldn't take nothing away from him for that.
And what about his ability to stay the 480?
Oh, I think he'll stay 480. He's won over 480 at. He's won on 5 different tracks. I mean, a lot of people say that. Think he runs Bellevue, maybe nowhere else. But I mean, that's not right. I mean, he's won at All Green, he's won at Perry Bar, he's won up and down. He's won at Oxford, and so I don't think there's any problem. I mean, if you can get Perry Bar and All Green and them sort of tracks, surely he should get. And plus the fact he broke the track record at Bellevue over 4.65. So I mean, he couldn't have been slowing up too much to break the track record over 4.65.
Slightly bigger in the betting is Blonde Boss, a dog Charlie has always thought the world of. An operation to remove his tonsils hampered preparations and might have led to this trial stakes defeat.
Didn't think it was a poor performance. I mean, everybody expect maybe too much from my dogs because they think that every dog I put on the track should win. Your dog has got to be in condition for Derby, and I've prepared that dog now to my best ability to think that he'll go a good way in the Derby, and I do think he will. He's had a trial today. He won the trial 10 lengths. I mean, the time was 29.03, I think it was. So you know he's going the right way.
I like the Blonde Boss dog. He's maybe a bit underrated by people, and he hasn't had very many races either, you know. But I just think that if he recaptures his form when he ran against Ballymacnillock at Nottingham, I think a couple of runs down the line, I think he might be somewhere near right by the time final comes along. So I know it's probably an unusual choice, and probably one that's not in limelight as much at minute, but I quite like that dog.
The Lister Derby Challenge is big on quantity, but also quality, with Laurels winner Ningbo Jack here boasting lightning early pace and a real player. Droopy's Best has been campaigned solely with the Derby in mind, while Belle Devotion has already reached one Derby final, the Scottish version. Hopes of another Derby triumph are the highest they've ever been at Mudross, with such talent on show. But could this be the last English Derby challenge for the great man? If it is, at least we know his assistant Chris has had the perfect apprenticeship.
Well, let's take a look at some other contenders for this year's William Hill Derby, beginning with Elwick Review, who recently won the William Hill Gold Cup at Sunderland over 450 metres.
They're off and racing it towards the first bend, and fear no one out very, very fast. They race up towards the first bend. Here comes Elwick Review trying to get round that bend in second place. Game on as they head down the far side. Fear no one, the leader. 6 Elwick Review mowing it down into the third bend. After there's a gap back to 2 Headland. They go around the third bend. Fear no one with Elwick Review now switching to the outside. A gutsy display from both of them as they come up towards winning line. Elwick Review and Fear no one. Elwick Review's going to get there by a leg from 1. Fear no one. Back in third was Headland.
Elwick Review picking up Mark Wallace's useful pup Fear No One is an outsider for this year's Derby at 150 to 1 with the sponsors. He Horse Barney was purchased for €100,000 with the Derby in mind. He came over to England with a big reputation and looked a good prospect on his debut. And they're off for this sprint and racing up towards the first bend. A good start from 4 He Horse Barney, being challenged on the outside by 5 Middleman as they go round the turn, and He Horse Barney suddenly quickens up. He Horse Barney goes 2.5 lengths clear from Middleman out wide. After these comes 6 Raw Spirit, but up the home straight, nothing's going to catch He Horse Barney. A wonderful debut. However, since then, He Horse Barney was beaten by Queen's Circle at Coventry. This pup has impressed in trials at Plough Lane and is 16 to 1 with William Hills. A local greyhound with potential is Vancouver Sparky, trained by Paul Garland. He surprised many at Plough Lane with his gutsy run to pick up Charlie Lister's Laurels winner, Ningbo Jack. Braking well, he wasn't far behind Lister's speedster, Ningbo Jack, at the second bend, and kept on manfully to win in a time of 28.90. Ningbo Jack faded back in second, with Old Maneira Spark, trained by John Mullins, keeping on well for third after early trouble. Vancouver Sparky is 66 to 1 with the sponsors. A well-touted outsider with some is the Mark Wallace trained January Tiger. He's 66 to 1 for this year's Derby, and he could be the type to keep on qualifying. Here he is chasing home Charlie Lister's Westcliff. Westcliff in 4 showed plenty of early pace, perhaps a little bit ungamely at the bends, but January Tiger, running from trap 6, started to pick up ground down the far side, and he certainly does his best work coming home. Well, this year's Derby has a true international flavour, not only with the Irish, but there's a German greyhound entered, plus a Belgian greyhound in trap 5 there. That's Standard Scratch lining up in this year's Derby.
Another young trainer with a real chance in the Derby is Carly Philpott, who with partner Darren Keefe sent out Ballymac Kuhl to reach the decider 12 months ago. Kuhl is back again, along with Reading Masters champ Bubbly Chester and the oh-so-strong Ballymac Nylock, the Scottish Derby finalist. But will he be suited to Wimbledon?
He lacks a yard of pace into the first bend. He would suit Shelbourne Park a lot more than Wimbledon. So if any Derby would be tailor-made for him, it'd be the Irish Derby. So that's the one I'd be concentrating on more than any of the others, I suppose. I think he'd have a more realistic chance at Shelbourne than he would at Wimbledon. But I suppose people would have said the same about Ballymac Kuhl last year. He was 100 to 1 chance and he made the final on merit. So there's no reason why that dog with a bit of luck won't go a long way in a Derby.
But leading the Philpott Challenge for this year's Derby must be Ballymac Perez.
When I bought Nillock, I went over to watch Nillock trial. I actually picked Perez out as a 12-month-old pup in the paddocks. And I said to Liam, will you keep an eye on that dog for me, and if he shows any kind of promise, I'd be interested in buying him. So that was in May time. The dog was 12 months of age. In August, Liam phoned me and he said, I think he'd be, you know, your kind of dog. And I said, leave him with me and I'll find a few owners for him. So I agreed a deal with Liam and we bought the dog, and I'd say he might be a little bit on the young side for an English derby. But I know the lads have had a nice few quid on him at fancy prices. So again, we'll just have to get him there as good as we can.
Perez broke the world record in winning the Ladbrokes Midland Puppy Derby at Monmore, and then showed pace and trackcraft beyond his tender years in all-age company in a recent Derby trial stakes at Wimbledon. From the front, or like here, from off the pace, he's a dog who seemingly has it all. He goes into the £100,000 to the winner competition as one of just a handful of unbeaten dogs. Connections and his growing band of supporters, including our own Errol Blythe, have punted this dog down to joint 5th favourite. It's been a rapid rise for Ballymac Perez. Sponsors William Hill have kindly given the dogs 3 £50 charity bets for the William Hill Derby. Errol Blythe has plumped for Ballymac Perez. Our production team, led by Clive Lawrence, are going for Blonde Boss, and I'm going for a sporting bet, each way on Shelbourne Nina at a big price.
Well, the Retired Greyhound Trust will have to wait until Saturday before all 3 selections run. Starting off in Heat 24, Blonde Boss should have too much early pace for Ballymac Nylock on his inside. Pennyworth, of course, ran so well during the Birmingham Cup, could be a big threat in Trap 3. And don't rule out Courage Boy from Mark Wallace in Trap 6. Moving on to a little bit later, Heat 28 sees Shelbourne Nina line up in Trap 3 against her kennel companion Big Freeze in Trap 4. It should be a humdinger of a race, include Abbott Pete for McPusey as well. As for Ballymac Perez, it looks fairly straightforward, but there's Lisner Fuller Flash, the Pall Mall winner for Ernie Gaskin, plus Noir Shawnee, Seamus Cahill's Evergreen, lining up in Trap 6. The Greyhound Derby is the main feature this weekend, with comprehensive coverage on Channel 425 on Thursday, Friday and Saturday. Other events to look out for this weekend include Opens on Thursday night at Coventry, Milton Keynes, Nottingham, Rye House and Walthamstow. On Friday there's the usual varied card of Opens at Romford, while Saturday sees the start of the Cause Brewers Puppy Silver Collar at Sheffield and the Stuart Lambert Test at Walthamstow. Sunday and a plethora of Opens planned at Coventry, Rye House, Sydneybourne and Stainforth. For more information, click on to the BGRB website, thedogs.co.uk.
Well, I hope you enjoyed today's programme. I'm sure you've picked up the winner with those clues that we showed you earlier in the show. Don't forget, the William Hill Greyhound Derby is live on Channel 425, the first 3 rounds, the quarter-finals, the semi-finals and the final itself live on Sky Sports. Join us then.
The Dogs, in association with the British Greyhound Racing Board.